We have Jewish Israeli-owned businesses here employing thousands of Palestinians at a good wage, by the way, as well. Why aren't we hearing more about this?
The Israeli Supreme Court wanted to make sure that there's full equality for Israelis and Palestinians at places of employment. And so Palestinians earn Israeli wages. An Israeli and a Palestinian working side by side in the exact same position, they're going to make the same salary. But more often than not, the Palestinian's going to take home a bigger net gain in his paycheck because his personal taxes for income to the Palestinian Authority are lower.
Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to an exclusive clip from the Watchman show on TBN. It's one of the great untold stories in the Middle East today. Israeli Jews living in the biblical heartland of Judea and Samaria, working side by side with their Palestinian neighbors. Folks, this flies in the face of the usual mainstream media narrative. It's a story you're not seeing anyplace else, but we've got it for you here today on the Watchman. We call Israel's biblical heartland Judea and Samaria. The world calls it the West Bank. We're sticking with Judea and Samaria because that's what the Bible calls it. Well, there are some very courageous Israelis living there and also some very courageous Palestinians who are working side by side together to build economic bridges. Folks, it's an encouraging story. We want to thank the Judea and Samaria Chamber of Commerce, Sheikh Ashraf Jabari, and our good friend Heather Johnston, head of the U.S.-Israel Education Association, for bringing this story to our attention and helping us bring it to you here on the Watchman Newscast. Take a look. Avi, it is great to be with you here in the biblical heartland, Samaria. Some exciting business and economic initiatives between the people of Samaria, Judea, and Palestinians at the grassroots level. Unpack a bit what you're doing right now.
The work that we've been doing is just trying to take or harness some of the opportunities that are already on the ground and bring them a few steps forward. For starters, you mentioned the Israelis and the Palestinians, the region of Judea and Samaria, a region that often gets a bad reputation because it's underrepresented or perhaps misunderstood. This community is full of partnerships. It's an area of neighbors. Israelis and Palestinian Arabs living side by side and doing business together. What's good for the Israelis is good for the Palestinians. What's good for the Palestinians is good for the Israelis. I'm not talking about politics, but I am talking about economics.
We're in an industrial park where Palestinians are employed. Tell us about where we are standing right now and why it's so important.
There are about 10,000 employees between the two sides of Highway 5, which connects the Jordan Valley on the one end to Tel Aviv on the other end. The Ariel Industrial Park has about 80 factories. This side of the road, the Barkan Industrial Park, 165 factories. That industrial park over there in Ariel is about to double in size with 10,000 Palestinian employees that sometimes represent roughly 70% of the workforce of a given factory. We see that these partnerships are not only providing jobs and putting food on the table for families, but they're contributing to the, again, economic development of the region and ultimately
for Palestinian families.
For Palestinian families and their contribution to something beyond themselves, which is economic development for Israel and the region.
We have Jewish Israeli-owned businesses here employing thousands of Palestinians at a good wage, by the way, as well. Why aren't we hearing more about this?
The Israeli Supreme Court wanted to make sure that there's full equality for Israelis and Palestinians at places of employment. And so Palestinians earn Israeli wages. An Israeli and a Palestinian working side by side in the exact same position, they're going to make the same salary. But more often than not, the Palestinian's going to take home a bigger net gain in his paycheck because his personal taxes for income to the Palestinian Authority are lower.
To me, this is almost like a mini regional Abraham Accords that's unfolding right here now in Samaria and in Judea.
The Abraham Accords are public. They're designed to be public, and it began with an announcement that's designed to pave the way for future partnerships. Here we kind of have the inverse. It's considered undesirable or sometimes dangerous for Palestinians to speak out about their partnerships with Israelis. So yes, the partnerships are alive and well, but unfortunately doesn't always see the light of day.
You have taken the initiative at the grassroots, and my big question here is the world noticing? What does the international community say? And how about the United States, the U.S. Congress? There are so many voices involved in, obviously, the situation on the ground here in Israel with a stake in it. Have people noticed what you're doing here? Are you finding support out of Congress in the U.S. in particular?
Congress has made an important step forward with a relatively new piece of legislation called the Middle East Partnership for Peace Act, or MEPA. They've committed $50 million a year for a 5-year period, $250 million for Israeli-Palestinian partnership programs with a focus on business, through investments, through grants. We're very fortunate also to have an advocate out on the Hill, the U.S. Israel Education Association, which has brought consistently for the last more than a decade congressional delegations, senators to come see this reality, visit, walk through these factories. I think it's just a matter of time until we see Congress actually stepping in and incentivizing these opportunities.
You're born in the U.S., you came here, you made Aliyah, you're raising a family here, 5 beautiful children. Why did you choose to lay down your roots here in Samaria, and why do you do what you do? What drives you?
I want to be on the playing field where the Jewish people are living out the story of what we need to be doing at this time. It's taking a long-term view. What does it mean to be in this land, to steward our role in this land, and to create those partnerships to be a blessing to all of the families of the earth, beginning with our neighbors down the street.
Avi, keep up the great work. Godspeed. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Avi. Folks, Avi and the Judea and Samaria Chamber of Commerce are joined in their incredible work by several courageous Palestinians, chief among them Sheikh Ashraf Jabari. Now, Sheikh Jabari is based in the ancient biblical city of Hebron in Judea, where his family lineage goes back over 800 years. He's a prominent Palestinian business leader, and he joined me from Hebron to share the amazing things that are happening between Israelis and Palestinians in the biblical heartland. Take a look. Ashraf, thank you so much for joining us. You've taken, I believe, great risks in working closely with Israelis to bolster economic cooperation between Israelis and Palestinians. Why take the risk? What are the benefits of greater economic cooperation between Israel and the Palestinians?
Thank you, Eric, for this opportunity and for this interview. First, I want you to know that the history of working with Israelis is not new. This has been going on for some time. We continue to work with economic ties between Israelis and Palestinians. Every single day, Palestinian merchants go into Israel. They trade with Israelis. We have warm business relationships with Israelis.
Could the economic cooperation between Israel, Palestinians, could it help stabilize the entire region? I think of the Abraham Accords, of course. Could this be an outgrowth of the Abraham Accords? Could we see an Abraham Accords type agreement or situation between Israel and Palestinians based on economic cooperation? Is that the goal?
Before the Abraham Accords were signed, we had a delegation that went to Bahrain for the Peace and Prosperity Workshop. That's when we became a part of this process of the Abraham Accords. We also didn't need to wait for the Abraham Accords to happen, because we already have an example of successful business ties between Israelis and Palestinians. But we have a challenge, which is the Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority is creating these stumbling blocks for the economic cooperation between the two populations, and they don't want to allow this picture of economic cooperation to be known to the rest of the world. And it is with the Palestinian Authority that we have these challenges, not with the two populations working together. I welcome anyone who would like to visit. I can take you to tens of factories and gas stations and industries which are day-to-day working in partnership with Palestinians and Israelis.
Ashraf, you work very closely with the Judea and Samaria Chamber of Commerce. Why is that relationship so important? And at the end of the day, why do you do what you do?
First of all, I'm not alone. I'm not the only Palestinian. There are many Palestinians affiliated with the Judea and Samaria Chamber of Commerce. There are 50,000 Palestinian employees who work with Israelis in Judea and Samaria, in the Israeli industrial parks, and in the Israeli places of employment in the region on a daily basis. I'm not alone, but also, I won't let the terrorists change the conversation or prevent us from cooperation. The Israelis living here are not our neighbors from today. They've been our neighbors for more than 50 years. We know them. We work with them. We have partnerships with them. And we are going to continue working with them. I do this for the future of my people. I do this for the future of my children. I want to see technology and business exchanges going both ways. I believe this is the greatest benefit for my people and for the generations to come.
Amazing stuff, folks. If you like that clip and you want to see more like it, be sure to tune in every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time to the Watchman Show on TBN, also airing Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, again on TBN, the world's largest Christian television network. And if you want to see new episodes of The Watchman before they even hit the air, sign up here at our Watchman channel to become a premium member. To get all the details, just go to our homepage, click join, and you will find out more. Thanks so much for joining us here for this exclusive clip from The Watchman Show. Until next time, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new Watchman Newscast episodes every weekday.